Madden. Big fist away, chance for Lovell, snapshot at goal, rolls and has rolled through.
Onto the left foot he goes to half forward. Doug Coop, beautiful football by Coop, centres the ball. Here's a chance for Wilson, another one coming up to the Demons. Onto the left foot out wide. Greg Anderson raced at the ball, but they got a bad bounce. This is Dean Wallace, who came on the ground, firing a goal from the boundary line. What a good mark to Chris Danaher coming over the top. Wallace had a shot for goal.
Those types of rallies.
Right in front, slight angle, kicks and goals. Well, good attempt by Campbell. Williams is there to back him up. Williams hooks it back, centres it. Brilliant play by Williams. And a beautiful mark coming in from the side, and that's David Flintoff.
The wingman.
Well, what a top mark. David Flintoff from directly in front with the reply. There's the kick. Allows for the breeze, and he has sneaked it in.
Watson again. Essendon veterans doing well. Now to Anderson. Kicks from the edge of the square. Oh, plenty of distance in the kick. Needs accuracy, and has got it, I think. Gets the hand pass out, stretch in the road. It rebounds well for Baker. Stones was there. Izard breaking clear. Fellow redhead Darren Buick. Will he go over the top to Salmon? He will, and it's a goal. It's a rotten luck, of course, in recent times. Paul Vanderhaar broken the. Oh, it's 50 metres.
Yeah, that's 50 metres. Why is it 50 metres?
Well, Steins and Grinter are having plenty to say to umpire Australian.
I think it was because the Melbourne players played on.
Away.
15 metres out, and has put it through for a goal.
Here's their chance as we see Lovell onto the left foot. A good-looking shot, and he's goal. Gary Lyons got it. Left foot, chips it back. Clever kick. Well, the mark has been taken by Wilson. A very, very clever kick that by Lyon.
Oh, he's a good player, Lyon, because when their pressure is on, Lyon is always there. If I've got a criticism, Gary does tend to float in and out of the game.
Well, here's the kick by Wilson. And another one up to the Demons.
Play seesawing in the first half, and the bottom line was that Melbourne led at the main change by only 3 points. We're going to rejoin the play now in the third quarter. Essendon has piled on a couple of goals, and they lead by 16 points with some 12.5 minutes to go in the third term. He's got into some space in front of goal, but Essendon players have plenty out there. The ball picked up and driven away for Essendon by Tony Danaher. Gary Forbes takes the hand pass at midfield. He likes to kick a goal. Let's see if he can with that one. He'll score, but only one behind.
Well, Melbourne have made a change. David Williams, their forward, full forward, has gone off, and Jay Viney has gone down into that position as Gary Foles trots back to the back pocket, where his man Ricky Jackson is standing with his hands on his hips.
Well, that says a lot, I think, for what a good mark to Grinter, but that says a lot for their forward line. They really do struggle up forward, Melbourne. Here's Coop from centre wing. Watson underneath the ball. Here's a chance for the Demons. Wilson receives from Healy. Brian Wilson straightens up. He's got an open goal. He hooks it back, and he's put it through.
Certainly needed that one, Don.
Well, you've got your heart in your mouth every time Brian Wilson got the ball, for the mere fact that he hasn't got great speed when he does get it. He looks for the handball, and it's just not on sometimes, and he does get tagged a lot. But this time he did get away. A quick handball from Greg Healy, and Wilson just getting around his Essendon opponent. That was a good kick from goal, because that was quite a fair way out on a difficult angle.
Well, the difference...
3 goals to Brian Wilson.
Well, Kevin Sheedy be a little bit worried at this stage, because Essendon have been well on top in this quarter. Should be probably further in front. Well, there's the man that could lift Melbourne, Brian Wilson. Quick kick towards the half-forward line. A courageous and good mark, that by Chris Danaher. He's got a loose man out wide him. We set up Watson here. Oh, good strong mark by Watson. He's had an outstanding, well, his second and third quarters have been brilliant. To O'Donnell. Should have been unloaded then. O'Donnell, he really should have been, as he runs to half-forward. This is Gary O'Donnell lining up the goals. Oh, what a great goal that was.
Well, you called it. I was glad it was you and not me. He should have been, as you said, Peter, unloaded there. He was set up, and the hip and shoulder was on. And the penalty was paid. We'll see here, there, bang. He should have been set up, but no, he ran on. And that was bad play by the Melbourne player. It was Alan Johnson in question. I know it's not in his nature to do that type of thing, but he could have at least laid a tackle or impeded O'Donnell in some way. But they've paid the penalty, 12 goals to Essendon.
That was O'Donnell's second goal, and once again the difference is 17 points. 10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Been a good one for Essendon. Izzard, wobbly kick out to Clark. Gives it back to centre field, and Baker. It's Danaher. Well, Campbell late on the scene. Was that a push in the back? Grinter to do the tidying up work for Melbourne. Grinter favouring the grandstand wing. In front is Earl Spalding and takes the mark. Spalding on right centre wing. Melbourne need the quick reply again. Danaher knocks it clear down to Lovell. Picking it up as Flintoff right on 50, just about dragged down. Shoots, but it will be off target and out of bounds. Throw in only metres from the behind post. What a chance for the Demons. They've been outscored certainly in this quarter by Essendon, and they scored the one goal themselves. That was to Brian Wilson. Two number 27s, Madden and White. Chris Danaher's hand pass, not a good one. Johnson tries the banana kick, not successful. Jackson, red and black brick wall there. Baker, wobbly kick, 50 metres, 25 up, 25 down. Stretch has the mark. Centering kick, and a good mark has been taken by Yates. A long way from goal. Didn't look where he kicked that. Putting his forwards under plenty of pressure, and I guess you pay the penalty there, don't you?
Again, the lack of a good forward, Pete.
Haven't got anybody down there, have they? Both.
Oh, a bit of both, I think, Don.
Tony Danaher's kick out of bounds on the full, so a little bit of luck going Melbourne's way there. It'll be a free kick. Let's see who's got it out there.
Flintoff.
David Flintoff, yes, he's already kicked one goal. Former Hawthorn under-19s player. Now it's booted up long towards the square. Hamilton at the back. Shoveled out ultimately towards the boundary line in front of Wilson. Had no chance of getting near it, of course. Again, a boundary throw in about 15 metres from the behind post.
Interesting to see Steins down there contesting that, and it was just the mere fact that he contested, brought the ball to ground. Anything can happen in that situation.
17 points the difference. White over the top. Healy's snapshot smothered. Walsh, knock away to Watson. Possession number 23 for Tim Watson. Long hand pass for Harvey. Gets around Grinter, but only just. Oh, good tackle on Baker. Ball spills for Jackson. Jackson up towards right half forward. Oh, lovely one-hander taken by Alan Johnson. Out to Spalding. Steadies. It's coming around nicely. And is through for a goal.
Kick out of the centre, and waiting back there to take an easy mark is Graham Yates. And, well, he's off. Vanderhart almost got him. Hand pass over the top. He's in the centre of the ground. The kick is by Rode, a long raking kick. Oh, ducking back was Chris Danaher. He and his brother Tony down there doing a power of work. This is the pace of Izzard. Long hand pass, but talk about pace. Here's another man possessed with plenty of that. That's Jackson. Oh, Steins couldn't take the mark. Here comes the brilliant Watson again. A long kick towards half forward. This is Buick, who he wanted to play on. We ought to go back and have a shot from there, I think. Now he's going for the short one. Oh, to Hawker. It was a poor kick. Dersma's there off the ground. You should have a shot for goal from there for sure. Here we see with the ball Mark Harvey. He's 65 metres out from goal. Another shocking kick. Now there's no excuse for that. And straight in the hands of Lovell. Well, the field kicking been terrible. Oh, Madden has unloaded. I think it's Doug Coop, and he is down and maybe out. It's with Hawker. That was a very, very heavy knock towards full forward. Salmon, the ball hits the deck. It's punched away by Graham Yates. Kicked away. Here's danger because Baker's got it. He sprints to half forward. The short kicks on another poor pass. Why don't they shoot for goal, some of these players from 40 metres out, Don?
I just can't believe that handball that was on before. Now that's just a hospital. We saw that. That was a hospital hand pass. It just was not on. Coop didn't deviate. Oh, that's shocking play, Melbourne. That is shocking play.
Yeah, that's shocking luck for poor Doug Coop. Been in pretty good form. He's really hit a good patch of form, and he was set up, as Don said, and Simon Madden was hip and shoulder, but he was airborne, and he had no chance.
Madden's number's been taken, I think, Peter. I think the umpire's gone across. He's taking his pad out and getting Coop's number. Now It'd be interesting to see that one on replay. Because I didn't think the elbow was raised at all.
I didn't either.
He was airborne.
Well, yeah, well, I thought it was a hip.
It looked hip and shoulder, didn't it?
What's in the replay? Now, that's a bad hand pass by Lovell.
No, that's not reported.
That's not reported.
That, it's unduly rough play.
Well, we saw a terrible one last night too.
I'm asking the question, Don.
Yeah, well, I don't want to argue, but I mean, that's what's wrong with football nowadays. Those things were part and parcel. I'm not saying umpires just don't appreciate that they were part and parcel of football once upon a time. That was a legitimate bump.
Yes, I think it was on that occasion. Sometimes you see there's Simon Madden. He's a very fair player, Madden.
Here.
But over the years, you do see some guys set guys up. I really don't think he set him up then.
Well, Madden was committed, wasn't he? The hand pass was on, and what a Coop ran straight at the
Coop
ball.
was committed.
That's right. They were just that collision.
Rotten luck for young Doug Coop.
Bad luck for Simon Madden to be recorded on his 300th game. I don't think he would wish that. So a bounce. The umpires very quickly found a free kick, as they often do after instances like that.
Well, that's Gary Lyon, a heavy knock, and also Doug Coop. So they're in trouble, Melbourne.
And Coop Lyon's still sitting on the bench, so...
Well, concussion, he won't be much value if he comes back on.
Stephen Clark has the free kick. Outside 50. That Madden, there he is. Directly in front of goal, and Simon Madden does not miss too many shots like this with his left foot.
No, it's good play by Madden. Actually, his brother Justin also does that. A lot of ruckmen stay kick behind the play, but Justin also drifts down on that forward line and takes a big mark, as his older brother Simon did on that occasion.
So Simon Madden for his first goal today. 35 metres out. And goals.
Well, that report obviously hasn't upset Simon Madden at all. It's his 31st for the season, and over 300 games he's kicked 462 goals. Last week he was a good player and played at centre-half forward as well as in the ruck, but he is a very, very good high mark. Very good kick, not much error or allowance for error the way he drops the ball so close to the ball. Well done, Simon Madden.
8 marks, 12 possessions to Madden. 68 now to 85. So, to all intents and purposes, 3 goals. And some loud hooting now. 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Madden and Steins do battle. Hand pass comes out to Harvey, who fumbles, leaves it for Hawker. Long hand pass out to the edge of the square. Hawker again over the head of Hamilton. Into some open space. Hamilton will get there first. Back it comes to Walsh. Relays it up towards centre wing. Could have been taken by Healy. Does well to get his kick in, but he's put it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Essendon, left half-back flank to Walsh.
Well, Greg Healy seems to have lost all form. I've hardly seen him today, Don.
Well, he didn't take that. He should have taken it. An easy chest mark.
Well, he's a guy who's on the ball, and he's just nothing like the player he was last year. There's a good mark to Jim Steins. A big job for him today. They've got lack of height, Melbourne, and with Steve O'Dwyer out, it's a bad loss. This man has just blitzed them since quarter time. Watson, in fact, he's been a good player all day. A long raking kick. That was meant for Buick too, and he found him. They're looking dangerous, the Bombers, as Buick brings it. Van der Haar at the back. Steins at the front, and another good mark to Jimmy Steins. Excellent effort. Put himself in front of that pack. He is a tall man. He'd be, what, 6'5 and a half, Don?
6'6", and he's got a lot of heart too, Jim.
Well, the Irishman, as he brings it towards half-back, the good, strong mark. Watson, what sort of quarter has he had?
8 marks now to Watson.
Oh,
brilliant quarter.
Fantastic. He's just taken over this game. Tim Watson. Well, he is a very exciting player, Tim Watson. Oh, look at this. Uncontested, unmarked, and a very easy mark taken by Izzard at centre-half forward.
You wouldn't call it an accurate pass. I believe it more a miskick.
It was.
Results okay.
Well, things are going the Bombers' way, all right. But they have looked the better side since early in the game. No doubt about that. Izzard hasn't kicked a goal today. He's only 25 to 30 metres out directly in front. He's laid right back on this one. He only took 2 or 3 paces and he's missed.
As soon as he left the boot, I thought, well, that's a point, because it was a high ball. He didn't allow for that strong bruise, and we'll go down to Dixie Marshall, who's down in the Melbourne change rooms. A report on Doug Coop.
Donnie, Doug Coop was totally knocked out, knocked clean out. He still hasn't regained consciousness. The doctor says he's got bad concussion and he'll take no further part in this game. It's pretty sickening, actually.
Healy boots Melbourne forward up towards centre field. Spalding over the top. Wilson at the back takes it cleanly. Half forward. Will Watson catch him? Great tackle, Timmy Watson. And Essendon players running in abundance down there. Jay Viney's fumble didn't help their cause. It'll be a boundary throw in about 25 metres around from the behind post.
The disadvantage of having no left foot. On that occasion, Brian Wilson could have put it on his left foot, but tried to go onto his right, just too slow.
18 points the difference. Over the top is White. Down to Watson. Harvey. Inside the square. Essendon, I sort of feel, should be further than 3 goals in front. They're playing much better than that at the moment. Down goes Madden. In comes Buick. That could be another one to make it 4 in front. He's goal.
Going into the final quarter, they led by 25 points. So for Melbourne to win the game, they had to get some quick goals early in the 4th and final term. Let's go back now to Windy Hill.
At Windy Hill, Essendon leads by 25 points at the final change after they booted 6-4 to 2 goals during the 3rd quarter. They trailed at the first 2 changes. Salmon starting in the ruck. Steins boots Melbourne forward up to their half-forward line. Now out it comes to Williams, who gets the hand pass away to Jackson. Not a good one. Danaher breaking clear. Gives it to Hamilton. Tony Danaher. 3 Danahers playing today for the Bombers. And players all misjudging that one. Wilson in front. Finally picked up by Salmon, the tallest man out there. Wobbles the punt kick up towards left half forward. Coming out as Dersma. Not a long kick. The result is okay. It's marked by Lovell at right centre wing. His kick dropping a little bit short. Chris Danaher at the back of the pack. So too for Essendon as Walsh. Shows them how it's done. Out to Izzard. Gets flattened by Spalding. And it will be thrown back into play about 55 metres around from the scoring area. Essendon bench. Probably a little bit happier than the Melbourne one at the moment. And Healy, he's had a quiet day. And a good mark taken by Sean White. And he should be within kicking distance. He's marked about 40 metres out.
And they really do have to get the first couple of goals,
don't they?
Pete, to have any chance.
25 down at the moment. Sean White started in defence. Desperation moves by John Northey. Trying to lift the side. That's a beautiful kick distance-wise. The accuracy, wait on the goal umpire. I think it's okay, it is. And that's just what they needed, Don.
Well, it's probably a good kick as far as Sean White is concerned. If you can get a look at that on replay, the taut instep and the straight knee and the correct follow-through, and he really jumped into that ball. Now, that was a magnificent kick. Very, very, very well executed by Sean White, who's only been playing football, as we've said a lot of times, about 4 years now.
Well, it's back in the centre, and that might be the spur they need. 3 goals, 1 the difference. Another quick one will put a bit of pressure on Essendon. There's Danaher. Quick kick out of the centre, but it's with Wilson to Healy. They're the guys they want firing. A quick kick down towards the forward line. Oh, the mark is dropped down there, but he's good enough to go and get it again. He's been an excellent player, Anthony Danaher. And a beautiful pass. They found Baker. He's on half back. Baker's brought it to the centre of the ground. The big arms of Salmon now doing the ruck work. They're resting Madden down at full forward. Paul Salmon. That's what the Bomber supporters want to see from him. He has got some talent. There's the short kick. Watson. Oh, he's been outstanding. 14 kicks and here is 15th kick and 14 hand passes. Let's see if he can put it through. Beautiful looking kick on the left. And he has put it through.
Well, there's no excuse for the bad marking or checking or whatever else you'd like to call it. Picking up opponents, as Melbourne have been extremely loose. And Watson there on screen, just getting away. He was just given too much latitude by himself. Where's his opponent? Well, he just was not in screen. Watson on the ball, being picked up by Lovell, and just getting away on that occasion. And a magnificent left foot kick, because Tim is normally a right foot kick.
25 points the difference. 4 goals, 1 in fact. And, well, it's been very difficult for Melbourne now as Salmon against Steins. Healy, a quick kick, only travelled a metre. Steins taps it on towards half forward. Williams Received from Spalding, a hand pass wide to Wilson. Now let's see what Brian Wilson can do. He sprints around, he's trying to get in the kick, but he was covered from all angles. O'Donnell's bumped off the ball. A high tackle was on Walsh, and Kevin Walsh will take the kick at half-back.
Every time Williams has got the ball in this the last quarter, he's handballed it. He set Jackson up before and he set Wilson up there again. Why can't he kick it?
Exactly, particularly as they want goals and want them quickly.
Kick up towards centre field. Mark taken by Steins.
He's tried hard, Pete.
He has. Lone hand in the ruck today with O'Dwyer missing. And a good mark by Anthony Danaher again. Hand pass onto Clark. Uses his speed. Not a good kick on the run. Plenty of opposition though out there. Chance for Rowe. Oh, that's just about holding the ball. Umpire concurs. Paying the free kick. Anderson will take it at midfield. And he can kick long, as we've seen earlier in the day. Kicked a great goal in the second quarter. Plenty of distance in that kick. Van der Haar, did he get first touch? It's a mark. His 12th mark.
Too tall there, Don. I'm just thinking they'd take me back years to a magnificent battle that was on between Peter Knights, who's now coaching the Brisbane Bears, and Paul Van der Haar. It was Van der Haar's first half, and they just flew for marks like that all day. It was just magnificent stuff. And then it was Knight's turn in the second half. It was just something you had to be here to believe.
Yes, I remember that game well. It was one of the all-time great one-on-one battles, and Van der Haar has popped it through.
And that wasn't a very, very good kick off the boot. We saw Sean White earlier with the taut instep and straight knee, but if we reflect back on that one of Paul Van der Haar, the toe was cocked and the knee was bent. We'll see here the mark. Van der Haar bringing it down on the second occasion. And a straight kick. We just couldn't quite see the bent knee and the inverted toe.
Well, Campbell's just too small to be playing on Van der Haar.
But they've got magnificent firing power down there when you've got Van der Haar at 6'4" and also Madden at 6'4", 5 or 6.
Paul Van der Haar, 12 marks today, 11 kicks. 5 hand passes, and he's capped it off with 2 goals. 20 3/4 minutes left in this match. 31 points the difference in favour of the home side. Windy Hill has not been a happy hunting ground for Melbourne. O'Donnell out to Harvey. Melbourne has won only once here, the last 10 or 11 years or so. Harvey, Anderson marking inside 50. And if we can take some sort of a yardstick, Peter, that goal he kicked in the second quarter, he's in exactly the same position.
Well, if he has a shot, I think he'll make the distance because he is a long kick. There's the kick from Anderson. It's a high floater. Didn't quite get there. There's Madden there, who he nearly took the mark to. It's right in front of the goal. Lovett has had a pretty ordinary day. Brett Lovett. Rinter still getting the hoots of the Essendon crowd. All behind the play with Strong Shepherd. Here he is again. Oh! Played across the head to Tim Watson. And from Jamie Dersma. Made Timmy earn that one, but what a brilliant game. Let's have a look at it. Oh, open hand. Not too serious. The mark has been taken by Izzard at the 50-metre mark. No one on the mark. He should go. Yes, he does now. He sprints, straightens up, hooks it across the face. Where's Madden? There he is. Couldn't quite take the mark. Dersma's there. Long hand pass out wide to Stretch, and Melbourne bring it out of defence.
And Stephen Stretch been one of their better players today too. Stretch from right half back. Tries to get some distance in the kick. Chris Danaher, great diving attempt to take the mark. Here he can't gather it. Throw-in will be about 55 to 60 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Just they need a few now.
Just reflecting on the attitude of the two sides. When Alan Johnson went across to lay that Shepherd to allow Stretch to get away, he got hit behind the ear. He looked to the umpire to say, what about my free kick? Just a thing on attitude.
Salmon. Jackson doesn't get a good bounce. 2 Essendon players are there. Tony Danaher to Anderson to Clark. Backup support from Hawker. He could give it to Walsh. Prefers to go long. At the back is Lovett. Be able to gather this one in, can he? No. Baker trying to spin out. Just about caught with the ball. He is, says the umpire. And Leon Baker, though, has been a good kick. That has been a good player today. Oh! And Simon Madden got reported for a similar thing to that. Similar, I said, not the same. Now, this is breaking away from Melbourne. There's Yates. Up to half forward. Chance for Jackson. The ball just bounding away from him. Couldn't gather it. And one behind. Still 18 minutes and a bit left in the game. 5 goals the difference, so the task is not an impossible one, but Melbourne's only kicked 11 so far.
Trying to think of moves Melbourne could make to get back into this game, but they've tried just about everything. They're just short of manpower.
Short being the operative word, isn't it, today, under these conditions. Folds his kick, covers about 50 metres. Now Walsh backtracks, wobbles it off the side of the boot. Underneath it is Watson. Jay Viney hipped him out. Stalemate developing in midfield. It will be a bounce.
Well, it could almost have been a free kick to Watson then. He was hipped out of the contest very early.
Yeah, very early.
Very early. That's the secret to it. And Watson has been absolutely brilliant today. Salmon. Oh, the Melbourne player got one high. Here's Hawker trying to shovel it out. In went Harvey. And, well, there he is, bottom of the pack, Mark Harvey. That's where he normally is, trying to get the hard ball.
Just reflecting, Kevin Sheedy doesn't seem to have made as many moves off the bench today.
No, and that's good. It's allowed them to settle down a bit. There's Salmon tapping it over his head. There's Salmon again, hooking it back to half forward. Lovett. Just hasn't been Brett Lovett's day. A few of the Melbourne players have gone right off the boil. Long hand pass, stretch. Half forward. He's had one long run this term. There's another one. Sean White's over the back. And the pace of Ricky Jackson. This should be a goal coming up to the Demons, and it is.
Well, it's an understatement to say a much-needed goal. Ricky Jackson's second goal for the day. 2 goals, 1 to the little fellow. Read that well, actually, and used his speed to advantage. He has got great speed, set up a high ball, as I mentioned at half-time. That's the value of playing the long ball from the centre wing. If you can get it down there quick enough, anything can happen. It's all very well playing possession football here, there and everywhere, but something might happen, and it did on that occasion through a long ball from the centre.
So Melbourne still trailing by 4 goals, and that basically was the difference at 3/4 time. So in the 9 odd minutes played so far, they haven't made any inroads on this rather handsome Essendon lead. 16 1/4 minutes remaining in the game. 4 goals the difference. That was Jackson's second. Madden palms it down. Yates in the road for Melbourne if he can gather. To half forward. Oh, Melbourne needs some height down there, and they didn't have it. Folds. Chris Danaher doing battle with Flintoff. He beats both of those players out of bounds. Throw it inside 50. Right half forward flank for the Demons.
Yates now on the wing and Lovett in the back pocket, and Spalding on the ball, and Steins at centre half forward.
Steins contesting this duel with Madden. Folds again. Short kick still inside the 50-metre line. Anderson overruns it. Chance for O'Donnell. Brushes one tackle. Does it rather well. Oh, Watson was lined up, and luckily it missed. O'Donnell again. Hawker. Lovett. Missed one he should have taken. Will get the free kick for being grabbed when not in possession. Brett Lovett would be too happy with perhaps his efforts today. He was dragged once from the ground. I have seen him play better, I must admit. Started off on Terry Danaher. Played rather loosely. There's a great mark. Madden. Down to Izard. And Folds telling him to keep going and go long. He does that. Grinter was the flyer. Buick at the back. Road was there. Clark gets put out of business. Terry Danaher down. Campbell. Favourable bounce. Not a stretch. I could have to say Donny's just about Melbourne's best player, really. For consistency, anyway. Madden again. Umpire has paid it. Wilson trying to break clear. It will be Simon Madden's mark. He's gone for a short pass, and again he gives it to Izard.
Well, didn't quite get to it, Izard. Hamilton is there to help him out. Now, look at this. 4
players by themselves.
Yes, 4 Essendon players, and they just casually bring the ball up. A short pass to Baker, to Folds. And, oh, he's caught. Oh, could have been holding it. Oh, he nearly blew the whistle in, Clayton. There's the brilliant Watson again. Up in the air. Clark should mark this. He does. Now, let's see if he runs off. That 50 against Graham Yates. Now, he's done it a couple of times. Now, that is poor play because they were still in the game, 4 goals down. And Clark will kick now from almost in the square, in the 10-metre square. Oh, he tripped him up. Silly play.
You just sit there and shake your head, can't
Well,
you?
they can't take him off, Don.
Well, they've got no one to replace
No one
him
to
with.
replace him with.
It's been a very undisciplined performance in those last couple of minutes by Melbourne.
Well, this is Stephen Clark from directly in front, going for goal number 3, and he's put it through.
With 4 goals, Clark got 3 for Melbourne. Brian Wilson was their leading goal kicker. He also kicked 3 goals. One